Welcome to another video from Between CAD Classes. I'm Tracy, and I'm going to show you in this video how to create a dynamic block that will allow you to array in two directions. Now, if you haven't yet created a dynamic block that allows you to array in one direction, then check out the description down below where I've got a link for a video that will show you how to do that. Also in the description, you will find a link to this particular file if you want to try this exact example out with me. So let's take a look at what we've got here. As you can see, I have basically a theater and a theater chair in here. And I would like to have some dynamic grips on this theater chair that will allow me to grab it and array it. Now this is just one example, but obviously this needs to be a situation where I'm going to be doing the array over and over again. If it's a one-time thing, it's really not worth the time of setting up a dynamic block for it. But if what I do is theater layout and I find myself doing this all the time, then I'm going to create a dynamic block that will allow me to do this. Also note that my original is in the bottom left corner, so that means when I array, I want it to go up and to the right. One of the downsides of the dynamic block array in two directions that I've found is it really only works well in one direction. If I try to take this one and move it to the left and down, it might not work as well. So I kind of have to know ahead of time which direction I want to array. With that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and double click on my theater chair here and then click OK. And then I'm going to add a couple of parameters in here. Now, if I wanted to do this individually, I can do linear parameters. However, what I will find is that when I create my array action, geometry can only be added to one array. So I can't actually do two linear parameters, and I can't add the array action to both of them. So we're going to use a different parameter then. Here on the Parameters tab, we are going to choose the XY parameter. Then as I said, I'm going to array this up and to the right. So I am going to place my first point in the bottom left. I'll use tracking to find that point there. Then my second point will be my upper right. You can see that two parameters were created now, the X distance one and the Y distance one. And this is what I'm going to use to array in two directions. So next, I'll switch to the Actions tab. And before I choose my array tool, I need to get a feel for the sizes of this particular object. So I am just going to use my regular dimension tool and figure out how wide this chair is. Looks like it's 3 feet. And then let's figure out how deep it is in this direction. So 3 feet by 3 feet 6. So let's say that when I array, I want to add 1 foot of space in each direction. So that will give me a space between columns of 4 feet and a space between rows of 4 feet 6. Now I'm ready to start my array. I'll select my array tool. And then as usual, the command line is asking me to pick a parameter. As you can see, this is all one parameter together. So I'll select it. Now it wants me to select the objects that are going to be arrayed. So I'll go ahead and window around all of my chair geometry here and then press enter. Next, it wants to know the distance between the rows. So as I said, this is 3 foot 6 vertically. I'm going to add a foot. So I'm going to put in 4 foot 6 and enter. Then it asks for my space between columns. So once again, this is 3 feet wide, so I want my space between columns to be 4 feet. So I'll put in the 4 and the apostrophe there. Now I've got my array, I'm going to go test it out. So on my Block Editor tab, I will select Test Block. Here in the Test Block environment, I'm just going to test this out. When I select the chair, you can see the 4 grips. Once again, this is going to work the best if I grab the one in the upper right corner. So I'll select that grip and zoom out a little bit. And here you can see it creating my array of chairs. And of course I can just click to place it when I'm done. Now if you choose one of the other grips, not only will it array, but it'll also change its location. So you can see I'm arraying and moving at the same time. Same thing if I grab this one in the bottom left. If I grab the one in the bottom right, it works pretty well going straight across, but you can see I can actually move them as well. So knowing that, I'm going to go and change this to where there's only one grip, just the one in the upper right corner. So I'm going to close my test block, and then I'm going to choose my parameter, and I'll right click and go to Properties. Next, I'm going to scroll down to my number of grips, and I'm going to go from 4 to 1, which is going to give me that grip only in the upper right. While I'm in the properties, how can I change my distances if I change my mind and I wanted to update those? You can see that you can change your value set like you can normally, but that's not actually what I want to do. I'm going to press escape, and then I'm going to click on my little array icon here. Now I can see my row offset and my column offset. So if I wanted to make an adjustment, I can certainly do so right now. Let's say that I wanted my row offsets to be 5 feet instead. I'll adjust that value. Then let's test the block out. I'll go back to my block editor, and then I will choose test block. Go ahead and close my properties for now. Now when I select it, you can see I've got 2 grips, my original insertion point and the upper right corner, which is going to be my array. So now once again, I can select it. You can see it arrays just fine, and you can see the extra space for some extra leg room between these theater chairs. I'm going to go ahead and close my test block, and then close my block editor. I'll save the changes to my theater chair. Then out here, I can go ahead and select it, grab that upper right grip, and now I can very quickly get several theater chairs into my theater. Let's recap all that. The first thing we want to do is get into our block editor, and then on our block authoring palettes, we want to go to the parameters tab, and then we want to add in the XY parameter. Then after we do that, we're going to go to the actions tab, and we're going to add in the array action. We'll specify the space between rows and space between columns like we normally do. And then we'll go in and modify our grips and only show one so that only the one grip that works well will be used. Thank you so much for watching. If you found that useful, please like this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos. I have over 300 videos showing you how to work with AutoCAD, but also some other CAD applications as well. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.